I had a great question from somebody today, so I wanted to share the answer with you. The question was, does sparkling water like LaCroix or I like these Waterloos, right? Do these pull calcium out of your bones? And we know that soda, that soft drinks do pull calcium out of your bones. The way they do that is by you ingest phosphorus, right? The mineral phosphorus every time you drink a soft drink, a cola beverage, either, regular Coke or Diet Coke, it doesn't matter brand name or off brand name, you're ingesting phosphorus. Phosphorus will leach calcium out of your bones, pulling it through your kidneys, right? So if you drink more soda, you are actually at higher risk of things like kidney stones. Those are, no bueno. They don't feel good. So if you've got kidney issues, you definitely don't want to be drinking a lot of cola or, diet cola beverages. The other thing that's interesting with women who drink a lot of soft drinks, again, these are cola beverages, all right? I'm not talking about like the sparkling waters or even necessarily non-cola beverages like orange soda or Sprite. Probably shouldn't be drinking those either on a regular basis. But specifically cola beverages will lower your levels of vitamin D. Vitamin D and calcium are very closely related. Your parathyroid gland actually regulates the levels of calcium in your body. So if you've got higher vitamin D levels, you're going to have lower parathyroid hormone levels. Lower parathyroid hormone levels means that your body is utilizing calcium effectively, efficiently, and correctly. So you want to make sure that your parathyroid hormone is always a little bit lower and your vitamin D level is always a little bit higher. A study done by the Vitamin D Council showed that women who drink more than 3 soft drinks a week were at a 47.8% higher risk of having vitamin D levels of 20 nanograms per deciliter or lower. That's so low. That is really associated with autoimmunity. It's associated with lowered immunity. It's associated with all sorts of increases of chronic illnesses. The farther you get away from the equator, this is from Jeff Bulls, the farther you get away from the equator, the more incidence, the more possibility you have of all cause diseases. So everything from like autism to cancer to eating disorders, just a wide variety of chronic illnesses can be attributed to vitamin D deficiency. So that's essentially what Jeff Bull's paper showed, is that the farther you get away, hey Max, thanks, the farther you get away from the equator, the more, hi Julie, the more apt you are, the more of a possibility it is that you could be, you could acquire one of these chronic illnesses. So get your vitamin D and make sure that your vitamin D levels are much higher than 20 nanograms per deciliter. In my practice, I like to see them between 80 and 100. And some people can't tolerate, higher levels of vitamin D. There are some extenuating circumstances as to why you couldn't have higher vitamin D levels. Hey, Sarah. But I do, if you're relatively young, if you're relatively healthy, hi, Kendall, you want to make sure that you are, really working on getting your vitamin D levels up. All right, now the second part of that study, that was a little bit of a tangent. The second part of that study showed that women who consume 3 or more cola drinks a week are 10.8% more likely to have vitamin D levels under 12 nanograms per deciliter. That is so low. That's like almost dead. All right. I've seen that maybe once or twice. I test for vitamin D levels routinely. Low vitamin D, as we've already stated, is definitely a marker for a propensity to be sick, to be sicker, toward having chronic illnesses, toward having something like autoimmune disease, Hashimoto's, lupus, scleroderma, all of those, yucky autoimmune diseases. Then also things like breast cancer, colon cancer, skin cancer, learning disorders, kids on the spectrum, ADD, ADHD, autism, those are all associated with low vitamin D levels, which is very interesting. Not like if you raise your vitamin D level, you're automatically going to be super healthy or protect yourself against all of those things. That's not going to happen. It's just part and parcel of the holistic health picture and making sure that your body's performing optimally by getting your micronutrient status, at a very balanced range, right? So do check your vitamin D levels. You can order self-tests online. You can go to your doctor. It's like $35 to check your vitamin D. You do have to get a blood draw, which is uncomfortable for some people, but it would behoove you to know what your vitamin D levels are. If they're under 20, talk to me. That's a big problem, right? But if they're somewhere between like 30 and 40, that's still too low. Like I said, for optimal health, I like to see them around 80 to 100. You can't just go willy-nilly taking tons of vitamin D because that will hurt your kidneys. Among other things, it'll hurt your bones. You know, you don't want to do that. You have to make sure it's balanced out with K2. You have to make sure you're taking enough magnesium. There's all sorts of other things you need to be doing at the same time. But, you know, once you get your protocol going, it kind of becomes second nature and you start feeling a little bit better. So sparkling water does not pull calcium out of your bones. It's the phosphorus in carbonated beverages that contain like cola flavorings. Those pull calcium out of your bones. We don't want that. So, you know, of course, always be a little wary of aluminum, but, you know, I actually don't even think about aluminum when I'm enjoying my sparkling water. Hopefully that helps put some of your questions at rest. I'm sure not everybody's nerding out to those questions like I am, but if it's a question you've ever had, there's the answer. Have a great day. Bye.